Hi there, my name is Owen Bastable, and I'm a trainer with Project React from the University of Oregon. Today, I'm going to be walking you through an activity called the Elements of Culture activity. So first of all, what is the Elements of Culture? Well, it's an activity that will help us reflect on our own norms and our values individually, but also as a whole school community. This activity will take about 30 minutes, maybe less, maybe more. Before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody has a copy of the Elements of Culture matrix. So if you don't, you may need to pause the video right now to make sure that everybody participating has a blank copy of it. And then I would also ask that you sit in table groups of between 5 and 8 staff members. And those might be subject level or grade level colleagues. So I want to walk you through the Elements of Culture matrix itself. So if you look just at the left in blue, you'll see the elements of culture. So today we're going to be thinking about use of profanity, appropriate personal space, voice level, or whatever your school has chosen to focus on, your PBIS team or others that have helped organize this for you. On the top, we're going to think about how these elements of culture have changed over time. So what did they look like growing up, and what do they look like now? To help you understand what we're asking you to do, I'll give you my own personal example here for use of profanity. So starting with growing up, I was not allowed to swear, especially around adults. Today, my norms around use of profanity is that I use profanity sparingly, but mostly with friends and not at work. When I'm working with students in school, I look at swearing in general as warranting a warning. If students are swearing at others, directing it towards others, or it's repeated behavior, that might be an office discipline referral. Where I've seen this being different for families and students is that I think for some of the families that I've worked with, swearing is a way of expressing strong emotion. And then how I see that as being a difference that may create conflict is that I might see profanity as disrespectful, while some of the parents and students I work with may see it more as a way to vent or release strong emotion or deal with strong emotion or difficult situations. And so that might create conflict, or has created conflict for me. So that's one row completed. What I'd like you to do now is to complete all of the elements and rows on your own, and I'll give you 10 minutes, and you can decide if that's more time or less time than you need. When you've completed the rows on the form in front of you, I'd like you to reflect on your responses and take about 5 minutes. So if you could pick one row, and I'll go back to it, it may be appropriate personal space. So if you go all the way across and share that with a partner, and then I'd like you to share maybe one aha from doing that. What's something that's stuck out for you that seems really important for you to think and reflect on maybe more after you've done this? And then what is a way that we could use this information from this activity in your school? So what is something that you could take away that might shape maybe your instruction this year, or maybe rules that are posted around the school? So there might be lots of different aspects you could look at. So 15 minutes is the time that we have to do this piece of the activity, and I'm going to ask you to pause if you need the time now to complete this part. Okay, so once you've completed the Elements of Culture matrix, here are a couple of discussion points to consider as a group. First of all, what's changed in your norms over time? So looking at the elements of culture that you've reflected on, which have changed, which have remained the same? How might your norms be different than those of your students? So that last column, how might some of the things you've thought about personally may be different than those of your students? And then how do you identify what the school norms are at your school, and what would your students say about those. So you can pause the video here and spend some time with some more discussion, or you can continue on from here. And I'm just going to finish up with a couple of resources for you. So on the left side of the screen is Elements of Culture review, which is available to all staff members taking part in this today. And on the right side is a more detailed description of this activity step by step if you'd like to review it on your own time. Both of these are good resources for tips and thinking about how to apply this to your work as an educator. And there's links here provided in this slide that can be shared with you. If you have any other questions about this activity, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, my name's Owen Bastable. My email is here, or any of the other coaches and trainers associated with Project React. Thanks so much for taking part in this today, and hopefully you will be able to take away some lessons that you can use this year in your school.